So we want to make sure that we're prepared mentally, and then you're prepared physically or emotionally so that you can take advantage of that opportunity.
It's amazing what self-belief can do and what self-doubt can do. They can harness your power or it can absolutely cripple you.
The mindset you need to conquer the battle in front of you. We're all going to have a variety of battles. The first battle you're going to have is between your ears. And if you can get that right, guess what? Every other challenge tends to be a little bit easier.
Coach clients to face the storm. What's one practical exercise, something listeners can do today that lets them build mental resilience when life caves in on them?
Pause and breathe. How long are you going to run from it before you really have to face it? It's coming for you. Why don't we just turn and face it now? Let's just deal with it. And that's why I surround myself with good people, because guess what? The storm's going to get thick. It's going to come at you heavy. We all have an opportunity to pick the solution or the problem. It's up to you to make the choice. So at that point in time, I'm all solution oriented. I need to be in that mindset all day, every day. How do I find a solution? How I get to that, I start my day off as I call RPM. I rise, I pray, and I meditate so that my mental is in a place that I can be nice, calm, peaceful, so that I can make the right decisions and find the right solution. I've seen some of the richest people in the world the most miserable, and I've seen some of the poorest people in the world the most happy. And it tells me right there, money's not gonna make you happy. Hustle never equals burnout. Hustle equals hustle. Hustle equals action, reaction. And so for me, the more you hustle, the more action that's necessary. Then you need to rewind or step back and take a rest.
Okay.
But hustle doesn't equal burnout to me.
All right, so what if the biggest insurance you'll ever buy isn't just for your car or your house, but for your mind? Today, we're talking about mental resilience, entrepreneur grit, and protecting legacies. Welcome to the 1% Club. So today I got Johny Carmona on, mindset, life coach, Vegas entrepreneur, and the man behind Carmona Insurance Agency. For over a decade, Johny has protected families, futures, while helping leaders bulletproof their mindsets. Clarity, confidence, consistent action. He teaches it, he lives it, and today he's sharing it with you guys.
Wow. You hit it all in one punch.
I try, man. I got to start making the same intro for everything. I think I try to get too good, but it's okay. I actually love doing that. Okay, so let's start with the origin story. So, Johny, you said real success starts upstairs. Walk us through the moment you realized that mindset, not money, not strategy, was a real game changer in your own life.
Great question. First and foremost, I want to say thank you.
Absolutely.
Now, thank you for taking care of one of the most important and significant things in my life, and that's my son. So I want to thank you for taking care of him and taking care of his body. Your whole team and staff has been amazing with him. It's changed his mindset, battling from that injury. So I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to do that.
And I think, you said it right. Like, I realized I got a full team now that depends on me, and then they service others and the others depend on them. So I think that's really cool that I can start to see the roots start to dig into the ground,
That's for sure. And so I appreciate that, and I'm honored to do the podcast. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this.
Absolutely.
So mindset, for when the first thing that comes to mind when you say that is, what are your daily habits? What are my daily habits on a regular basis, So two books that come to mind are The 4 Agreements that I live and die by, and High Performance Habits. And by Brendon Burchard, those two books I read regularly.
Okay.
I try to keep those in my rotation. So when it comes to mindset, it's a matter of mind over matter for me. I look at every situation as how do I approach it? How do I come with the right mindset? There is no way to analyze everything that may be coming at you, but if you have a right mind and you have if you're prepared, in that moment, you'll definitely have success. And the way I look at it, right? So they always say, hey, preparation, opportunity equals success.
There we go.
Right? So we want to make sure that we're prepared mentally, and then you're prepared physically or emotionally so that you can take advantage of that opportunity. So I guess the first time I ever really had that thought process was recently, to be dead honest with you, and that was during COVID. I didn't have the right mindset going into COVID, like a little scarcity mindset of what's going to happen. But coming through COVID, I think I told you before, was one of my buddies reached out to me and said, hey man, we got to get your body in shape, right? Your mind's right, everything else is right, but let's get that body situated. And so that was the first time, I wouldn't say the first time, but reconnecting with that mindset challenge, right? And seeing, let's really lock in and see exactly where we're going to go with this. And then I just took it on. I took it on and tried to sharpen that tool every day. And I sharpen it with a variety of different ways to do it, but generally with exercise, reading, and meditation are probably my three main things. And
No, I love that. And like, okay, real success starts upstairs. We just talked about your son, going through, maybe his first significant injury. And, it's interesting because I saw his demeanor when he came in like a month ago. He was kind of down. He had no sauce in him. And then I saw him today, and he was smiling. It's amazing when I'm sure he feels better, but it's amazing when like you put that self-belief back inside of you. It's amazing what self-belief can do and what self-doubt can do. Man, they can harness your power, or it can absolutely cripple you.
1,000%. Self-talk is probably the single most thing that will either lift someone up or bring them down. I coach basketball as well. I've coached basketball for a few years now because of him. And what I tell most of my players is, hey guys, what's the mindset you need to conquer the battle in front of you? We're all going to have a variety of battles, but the first battle you're going to have is between your ears, right? The 6 inches between your ears is that main battle. And if you can get that right, guess what? Every other challenge tends to be a little bit easier.
Yes.
So I like when I can really help someone in that capacity. That's what really drives my engine.
That it makes me think of what if, like I am the worst of, well, what if this happens and what if that happens? And I almost try to dictate an outcome that you probably already know it's going to happen. Like, well, is it going to go this way? Is it going to go that way? And, I think the statistics like 90% of the things we think never come true. And I try to get better at that. But that's probably my number one thing that brings my self-belief down is the what if scenarios.
I'm a big believer in words, right? So first one, try. I listen to them all the time. There is no such thing as try. Yoda said it best, right? You either do or you don't, right? Yeah. So when those are the different things that I think set people apart, is when we get our vocabulary dialed in and start to remove some of those things from our vocabulary, we start to see where the mind can really shift and really start to dominate in that positive way.
Yes.
So as we start to think about all the negative things that could happen, well, why don't we just replace that with a positive?
Yeah.
Right? Just put that on top. You don't have to worry about the negative anymore.
Absolutely.
And then staying present is one of the most important things. I think if we think too far in the future, it creates anxiety. If you think too far in the past, it creates fear.
Ooh, that's a tough pendulum.
So you got to stay right here in the present.
It feels like you're swinging my credit score from the green to the red.
From 850 to 250.
Yeah.
I like to be on the 850 side.
Yes. And something I've learned recently is as I had an issue with someone, and it's like my viewpoint was my viewpoint and his was his, and it didn't matter because it wasn't going to change for him. It doesn't matter if I was right or wrong. So at one point I just had to accept him. All right, man, I think maybe we just go our separate ways because nothing that we're going to say to each other is going to allow us to have alignment. Maybe it will in the future, but it's like there was no talking through it. It was just, it was red, it was green, and there was nothing in between.
And that's okay. It's totally okay.
Yeah.
I tell my kids all the time, there's no right or wrong. There's just what it is. There's an old Chinese proverb, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll keep it short, but gentleman was a farmer and he had a son, and he had his son go out and ride a horse. And he went out and rode the horse, and the kid broke his back. And the next day the emperor came and said, hey, I want to buy all your horses. And he said, they're not for sale. He said, well, I'll give you $1 million. Well, they're not for sale. Well, the guy leaves, and the neighbor comes over and says, the emperor wanted to buy your horse.
Yeah.
He says, well, that was a good thing. No, I don't know if it was good or bad. It's just what it is. The next day, the emperor came back and wanted all the children in the village. Well, his son was hurt. He said, I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's just what it is. So in those capacities, I don't know if that situation was right or wrong. It's just what it was at the moment.
For sure, yes.
We just disagreed.
Yeah.
And maybe later on down the road we could agree, but today on this one, we're just not seeing it right.
And that's okay sometimes. Yeah. So storm-proofing the mind. So, you coach clients to face the storm. What's one practical exercise, something listeners can do today that lets them build mental resilience when life caves in on them?
Wow, great question. I would say there's one major thing that we all can do, and that's pause. Pause and breathe. Every situation that we might have to look at, whether it be good or bad or strenuous or getting ready to face something that we're fearful of, it's quite important to just breathe. That's the one constant in our life that we don't ever really look at. And it's can really settle us down, right? And just take a look at the moment and really see what am I afraid of? What am I really facing here? Is it going to be that bad? 9 times out of 10, you faced a challenge in your life, just like the one you're about to face at that moment, that you can conquer again. But we just forget about those things because sometimes they're so far in the past.
Yeah.
And instead of staying right here in the present and being honored to take on this challenge, because that challenge is an honor. You're going to get to learn something from that challenge, right? And that's the difference. Do you have that mindset that this is a learning opportunity, or this is the worst thing that's going to happen to me? Well, if it's the worst thing that's going to happen to you, then you lost. It's the worst thing. But if this is a challenge, it's a great opportunity for me to learn, well, why don't I just take it on?
Yes.
And I'd much rather take it on and face the storm. Just like we talked about that one night, man. The buffalo is my single greatest animal.
It's funny. I got my coin right on my where I get ready, and it's like as I'm ready to push out of the storm now, I got 4 things coming at one time right now. But I knew it would be that way.
Yeah.
I knew it would have to exit that way, right? So it's like I knew it was going to happen, so I'm complaining about it, but I was already mentally ready. I mean, I knew how I was going to feel, but I knew that, okay, a bunch of things are going to happen all at one time as I try to exit through this,
And that's the key, right, is once we see it, how long are you going to run from it? How long are you going to run from it before you really have to face it? It's coming for you. Why don't we just turn and face it now? Let's just deal with it. And that's the great thing about the buffalo. Buffalo is the only animal on the face of the earth that's going to face the storm and walk through it.
Yeah.
Walk through it with its herd. And that's why I surround myself with good people, because guess what? The storm's going to get thick. It's going to come at you heavy. But I'm going to need a couple guys and gals on my side that I can walk through this storm with. That's why I keep my circle really tight.
Yeah, it's interesting as I've changed my circle, and I feel now more than ever if I needed help with something, I do have quite a few people that are going to answer that phone to provide me help, where I think I had that before, but it was more verbal. Maybe it wouldn't pull through, but I can actually feel, and I'll do the same thing for others too.
Yeah.
If they need something, like I'm pulling through for them. So it is nice to have that circle. I feel like you have to earn it, and you got to respect it.
You got to curate it.
Yeah.
You got to curate it. There's people that have come in my life that have given me great tools that I've applied to this day. They're just not there today. Right? And sometimes that's okay. They come into a season or a reason, right? They say that's another saying. I'm big on sayings, man. I pick them up wherever I can get them out of the books and here and there. But I utilize them. I put them in my brain, and I recognize, oh, man, you know what? You've learned this before. Let's take this and apply it in this situation now.
Yeah.
And so for me now, it's a matter of putting myself with right-minded people. When I mean right-minded people, it's like yourself, like Rich. These guys are the ones that are helping me elevate my game physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, so that I can exceed where I'm at today and elevate to the next level.
And I want to give a shout out for Rich, because I met him. I met you through Cigars and Conversations that he curated, and I haven't met a bad person there, and it's interesting it's interesting the things you do at certain times in your life when you need them. Like, I had been to one of those events 8 months ago. It was cool. I was probably not in the right mental space, and I went again 3 months later, and that's when I'm like, oh wow, like now I'm understanding why I should be at these, right?
Yeah.
This is like universe said, they align me rich. Hey, come to this. I'm like, okay, now I understand. I got the message. I met the right people. I meet great people every time. And then you see the relationships come, outside of that, which is awesome,
Organically,
yeah.
Right? Like, that's the best thing about Rich. I love Rich. My favorite saying about that whole thing is, don't be a dick. Don't be mean to anybody in here. You never know who you're talking to, right?
Yeah.
You're going to see.
About to get kicked off that guest list, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't get kicked off the guest list, because you can get kicked off and never be invited back, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, it's always a matter of leaving someone at that place with a smile. Anytime I see somebody, I want to leave them with a smile. If I've done that, I've done a pretty good job. I know for a fact that I've come to that situation with the right energy.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great, and he's always invited me to stuff. So I got invited to this pro athlete community event, and I wanted to take him, and so we get there, and we ended up smoking a cigar with Coach Woodson.
Yeah.
And then I think we hung out with him 2 or 3 days. Rich went golfing with him, and it was just cool to to give back. Like that was my people give to me, and that was my give back there, and I was more than happy to do that, and it was fun. I think like Coach Woods, you probably meet so many people, but they always want something from. This was just chill. He was telling us about all the places he goes golfing and stuff, and it was just nice to see someone be able to be themselves.
Right.
When you're in the limelight all the time, it's hard to get that.
Never been in the limelight, so I don't know.
No, you're in the limelight. We all are, even if we don't think it. So insurance versus assurance. So most people think of insurance as boring paperwork, but how do you reframe it so clients see it as assurance? A psychological safety net that actually feels bigger risks and bolder dreams.
That's an interesting question. Insurance is very boring. It's very blah. What I like to do in insurance is educate. I think that's the most important thing across the board in anything I do in life is about education. When we're protecting the most valuable thing in your house, and that's generally yourself and your family, it's a matter of safeguarding all the wonderful things that you've accumulated. Let's be honest. People work hard to accumulate the car and the house and the rings and the things, right? And they want to just have a peace of mind that says, hey, this is just going to be okay. 9 times out of 10, you don't even know your coverages. But let's be honest.
Yes.
Do you know the guy who's handling your insurance? Do you know that guy? Probably not. So what I like to do is I'd like to give a personal touch. I'd say 90% of my clients have my cell phone. If you got a question, feel free to give me a call. I got no problem. If you can't find me, you're not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
Right? So with that, I give them the assurance that they'll always have someone in their corner. They'll always have someone to call. Not a 1-800 number, not a this or that, phone room, not someone in a different country or different state. You're going to get Johny Carmona. You call my office, you're going to get someone picking up the phone consistently. You call me directly or text me directly, you're going to get me.
Yes.
And I assure you the situation will be resolved. Sometimes it's going to be resolved quickly, sometimes it's going to take some time. But I promise this, you won't get better service anywhere else. And you'll know exactly where you stand when you do insurance with me. And I think that's the most important thing when it comes to insurance is, yes, it's a little cumbersome. Yes, it's a little ambiguous. You don't know exactly what it's like until you actually need it. But to have someone in your corner, someone that's a professional, someone that knows your situation inside and out and can look at you and go, hey, Sean, this is what we need to do in this particular situation. I think that's the assurance that people are looking for when it comes to insurance.
I think you're the first person that's ever explained insurance like that, because that's what happens a lot when you get insurance. You're calling a 1-800 number, and then you get put up into a call center. You don't know who the hell you're talking to, and you talk to a different person every time.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Who knows your story? Who knows your situation?
Yeah.
I just dealt with a situation, and listen, it wasn't perfect. But a dear friend of mine who I do business with on a regular basis had a very minor situation. All 3 parties were with the same company. And listen, be honest, my company doesn't do everything right every time. We all make mistakes. But I couldn't get the 3 people in my back office, in my overall office, to really communicate properly. So I had to go deeper into underwriting and everything until they all understood, hey guys, we need to do the right thing here. And the right thing is to communicate properly with everyone involved.
Yes.
Right? And I think communication is key in any particular scenario.
It is, yeah.
And you got to communicate verbally. It could be non-verbally, but primarily in my business, it's verbally.
Yes.
And so when we communicate on that level, it's a matter of explaining these things in a manner that's understanding to the client. And the client, which is the most important thing in our world, needs to have an understanding and a respect that, hey, these guys got me. They got my back. I've been paying this many years without a situation, and now it's time for me to get paid, right? Please take care of me.
It's not if, it's when.
Exactly.
We're all going to have an accident at some sort, or something's going to happen, where you need to file a claim or whatever. So it is nice to have that assurance that your insurance agent is going to be there for you, because it's panic. It could be a legal thing that unfolds from it as well, so it is nice just to have that one person that, hey, I'm going through this, and you can provide assurance, hey, you're going to be okay. Yep. This is probably the steps that you're going to go through, but just follow the steps and then you'll get out. That's why you have insurance for.
And 9 times out of 10, it turns into a coaching call.
Yeah.
To be dead honest with you.
Yes.
They're panicked, they're freaked out, then what's happened? Sometimes they're even injured. right? And the adrenaline's pumping so hard they don't know what to do or say or what the scenario is like. Sometimes it's a matter of, hey, are you okay? Is there something I can do for you right now? Forget about the car, forget about the things. How are you? And I think that's the most important thing. When you care about the person on the other end of the phone or sitting across from you, and you come through genuinely, you really feel him. You're like, hey, are you okay? That goes a long way. Forget the scenario, forget the accident. Look for the person. See if you can connect with them on that level.
Absolutely.
Everything else works itself out.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so I like to call it entrepreneur firefighting.
Uh-oh.
So running an agency while coaching people sounds like a 24/7 juggling act. So what's the biggest entrepreneur fire that you've had to put out this year, and what mindset shift kept you from burning out?
Entrepreneur fire. Wow. So, my gym, we're building a gym. We've my partner and I have been building this gym. We got the lease in January. We were supposed to be prepared and ready to rock and roll for the summer league and everything like that. And unfortunately, we had a flood on the second to last day this is supposed to be completed. We get a flood in the gym and a brand new $150,000 floor, and freaked out. Freaked out a little bit, and had to look at the scenario and say, hey, what do we do, right? My initial instinct was to say, these guys messed up. And yeah, we all messed up. Somebody messed up. And the best thing was to do is, hey, let's clear this out. Everybody take a break. Let's sit down for a couple weeks. Let's see how the floor dries. Let's look at the scenarios here. Let's see what's possible. Now, could I have said, hey, we're going to rip it all out, all that? No, I could have said that. But no, that wasn't the solution. The solution was, how do we find a win-win for everybody? How do we find a win-win for us? Because I need to get this business running, and how we find a win-win for the guys that are providing this service and putting down the floor, because they have the business to run as well. We come to that solution, and unfortunately, 2 weeks later, they burn the floor, right? And so now I'm looking at a scenario where not only did I lose money during Summer League, my core business is about to start in 13 days, 12 days, and we're looking for a new facility. Now again, can I look at this scenario and go, point fingers, you guys did this, you guys did that? Or do I look for the solution in this situation, right? I have the coin at home. One side says problem, one side says solution. We all have an opportunity to pick the solution or the problem. It's up to you to make the choice. So at that point in time, I'm all solution oriented. I need to be in that mindset all day, every day. How do I find a solution? How I get to that, I start my day off as I call RPM. I rise, I pray, and I meditate, so that my mental is in a place that I can be nice, calm, peaceful, so that I can make the right decisions and find the right solution. So if you ask me, that's where I start off. It always starts off at the beginning of the day. Morning routine is key for me. Rise, pray, meditate, and then after that, it's a 2 to 3 mile walk, run, get the body moving, so that my mental could be clear as we go on through the day. And then I take rest, man. I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah.
So I don't mind a little 23-minute nap. My son calls them LeBron naps.
Yeah.
I call them Jordan naps, but that's just, I'm a Jordan guy, he's a LeBron
I think
guy.
LeBron was like a 90-minute, but it's okay. Both of them are incredible, so it's working either way.
Exactly. So we take the 23-minute nap during the day just so you can reset for the second half.
Yeah.
And that's what I did before I came here today. Just a little reset. And I think those are important things as we, I don't want to say get older, but as we learn more in our lives, how do we learn about ourselves in a manner that we can be at a level pace throughout the day?
I think by doing that, it enables you to extract quality versus quantity. Like I've suffered from burnout from entrepreneurship multiple times. I'm probably in it right now again, because I'm just I'm trying to force the a square peg into a round hole. I'm like, hold on, that's just not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work as much as you want it to work. So it's like, taking a step back and be like, okay, let me rejuvenate myself. Let me have quality actions. Let me have quality interactions. Let me have creativity spells. Because if you lose your creativity, you can't get shit done. Now you're just being busy, and it can actually affect you. It could actually be making you lose money. It looks like you're making money, but you're really not when you go in and deep dive and analyze it.
There's a lot of people out there that work that just look busy.
Yeah.
I could walk into an office big office and see who's really working and see who's acting busy.
Yeah.
You know, and so a lot of people, they don't know that, but I could see it, right? And what's interesting that you said there is, I try to force a round peg into a square hole. Well, you're trying to use something that doesn't fit, right? But if you had the power to turn that round tool into a square and then slide it in, it wouldn't be forceful, right?
Yeah.
So it's power versus force, and power wins over force every time. So where do you find the power inside of you to deal with the burnout? That's a real question.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What do you need to do differently to gain the power? Sometimes it's, okay, I have a new perspective on it. Maybe I need to step back a little bit. And that goes too, like take 2 steps back to take that big leap forward, right? And having that awareness, that self-awareness within the proper time is what's key for most business owners. I think perspective and having that self-awareness allows you to go in and out. I believe guys like you and I, we're race cars, man. We're manuals. Sometimes we got to shift gears down and pull over to the left or right so that we can get in that moving lane, right? And sometimes the moving lane might be the slow lane. And most of the time, people think it's the fast lane.
Yes.
But sometimes it's the tortoise, not the hare that wins,
100%.
man.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got to slow down and really look at everything and analyze it and see what's going on around us that allows us to go, okay, now we shift into fast gear. Let's go ahead and go into gear 6 and maybe 7 even. Let's take off.
Yeah.
And so I think that's how I deal with it on a regular basis, is really taking an honest look of where I'm at and saying, hey man, is this really working for you right now? And if it's not, then I take my own advice. Slow down. Let's look at this again. How do we best analyze this? How do we best find a solution for this? And how do we move gears into the next action?
And that's why I think that having structure is so important. You know,
the pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
Yeah, they always say the boring work makes you the most money. No one wants to do the boring work. You know,
Ain't that the truth?
Like I'm knee deep in goddamn paperwork every day now, but it's okay. I know what's about to come of it, but it's like I just feel like it almost feels like you're making no progress, but you're not. It's like you're not making daily progress. You're about to make like a jump.
Death by paper cuts.
Yeah.
But is it really? It's actually callousing yourself. You're getting ready for the next sector of your life, right? That next launching period.
Yes.
And so what sounds like to me is you're stacking them papers so you could you can climb and step off of them.
The next level of my company requires everything: paperwork and decision making and strategy and legal work and looking over documents and this and that and putting it all together. It was much different than I anticipated on, but I accept the challenge now as I'm working through it. I'm learning a lot, being able to be efficient, and everything does have a solution. It may not be the one that you like, but everything has a solution.
Isn't that the truth?
And it usually always works out in the long term. You know,
Yeah.
if you make these educated decisions.
What I've learned is if you just don't quit, you will win.
Yes.
Just don't quit.
Yep, that is true.
Just don't quit.
That is true.
Listen, I've been doing the 75 hard program now. I'm on, this is day 16 of phase 1.
Okay.
I want to quit every day. But you know what I tell myself? Can't quit today. Quit tomorrow. You quit tomorrow. And when tomorrow comes, guess what I say? Oh, you can quit tomorrow. Just don't quit today.
Yeah.
Just get through it today. Handle your tasks today. You never know what tomorrow may hold.
Absolutely.
All right. And if I keep that mindset, let's just not quit today. A lot of my stuff ends up working out.
Yep. It does.
It's amazing.
Because
how
you just
it
need to
works.
make that. Just get through that 24-hour period. Let your mind gather its thoughts, and then go out and execute.
That's it.
So mindset and money. So you deal with both intangibles, belief systems, and tangibles like policies and premiums. Where do you see mindset most directly impacting someone's financial destiny?
I think it's the single most important thing. I mean, you're a direct reflection of the money you earn and the money you have and the things you have today based off your mindset. If you don't think you're good enough to have those things, guess what? You won't have those things. If you believe wholeheartedly in your mind and in your heart that you are valuable, that you are worth it, that you are enough, guess what? You have enough. I'm also a believer in I'm abundant right now. Sean, I have everything I possibly need right at this moment. That's abundance. There's nothing I desire right now. That's abundant. So having that type of mindset is what will manifest the money in your life, right? And so for me, it's all about relationships now. Money is a plethora. It's plenty out there. That's just a currency. It's energy. I can create the energy to get the money. That's not an issue. But now for me, I want to have great, solid relationships. That's my value. Those are the things I hold valuable. Money, it's great to have. It's a tool. Yeah, listen, I'd like to have a lot more than not, right? Let's not be silly here. I like money, just like everyone else, but it's a tool nowadays. I utilize it to come here, take care of my son. I utilize it to go on vacations. I utilize it to help my kids elevate into an apartment or maybe into a new career. But the mindset of money, for me, is always about the energy you bring to the situation.
It's interesting you say that, because when it comes to money, you're actually being able to live in the present moment versus, I've been guilty of it, and I'm sure other people are, that are just like, oh, let me keep trying to invest or stack my money in an account. So all they think about is what's going to happen in the future, and they miss where they're currently at. And that sucks, because you're missing all the lessons, you're missing all the blessings, you're missing all the hardships, and you're just not where your 2 feet are, and they're missing that by just continuing to think, what if I had more?
Yep. One of my closest mentors I talk to every day on a regular basis, he helped a prominent casino conglomerate go public. He says, man, Johnny, I was there every day, 16, 17 hours a day. I got stock options and everything. And I remember when this IPO was going, he's like, man, I was so excited. And finally, we did it. We made it. And I checked my bank account. I got everything. And I looked at it, man, and I was happy for about 30 seconds. He goes, and I said, now what?
Yeah.
What's next? Right, so is it really the money that makes you happy? I don't know. Everybody keeps telling me it's the journey. I'm most happiest when I'm in action. I'm most happiest when I'm in service, right? Those, to me, those are the true currencies of life. Service, action. The more action I take to be a good person, to really work on myself, to be the best version of myself, and then be of service to others and share that with others, that's my currency nowadays.
I think when you lose that, it's like you lose your ambition for life, and that's a bad place to be at.
I've seen some of the richest people in the world the most miserable, and I've seen some of the poorest people in the world the most happy. And it tells me right there, money's not going to make you happy. Happiness is a choice.
Yeah, rich man, poor mindset.
There you go. There you go. And so that's why I've always taught my kids, like, hey guys, don't do it for the money, do it for the love. That'll get you everything you want.
So good next step, family and legacy. So you're a dad, husband, entrepreneur. How do you coach clients and yourself to build a professional legacy without leaving a graveyard of family relationships behind?
I'll take that one in because it takes me right back to when I was chasing money, and my kids were really young, just traveling quite a bit. I was in the diamond business with my cousin, and say a month on, month off. I'd see my family. My kids were 2, 3, 4, 2 and 4 at the time, and they were living in San Diego, and I was chasing. And my dad got leukemia in 2012, and he asked me to come home and be with him. And he ended up passing in that June of 2012. And I made a conscious effort. I never imagined I'd be in the insurance world. It was the last thing I ever thought of. Like, insurance? No. My wife looked at me and she says, hey, my mom and dad are here. Your mom's here. Your sisters are here. Like, can we stay? And I said, yeah, let's stay. And I pivoted completely because that was the most important to me, was the family. The single greatest decision I ever made in my life was marrying my wife and starting a family with her. I will be forever grateful to that woman for giving me those 2 beautiful children. So every day I wake up, and I'll get emotional right now because those 3 people in my life they're my world. So I wake up every day with an intention that what's the best version of me that I could be today so that I could show up for them. It says it in the book, High Performance Habits. Who needs me to be on my A game today? My wife, Carol, my daughter, Sienna, and my son, Kingston. They need me to be on my A game every day. And so I show up for myself and I show up for them because they owe that. They earned that. They didn't ask to come into this world and be my kids.
Yeah.
I asked them to come, right? And so now it's my job to lead, to be a good role model, to be a good person and show them like, hey, this is how we live life. So when it comes to family, faith, finance, faith is there at the top, family's right there close, finance is at the bottom for me. So for me, it's always wife and kids first, man. Take care of those and everything else will be okay.
When you were in the diamond business, did you ever feel fulfilled?
No.
Because kind of like you're just chasing after what next big deal can I get? You know,
$1 million deal wasn't even fun. $250,000 deal was just a day in the park, you know, and it was just to make deals. And I love making deals. I want to let you know I'm a deal maker, man. There's nothing that gets me more excited than shaking hands on the end of a deal. Yeah. I love it. It's exhilarating, right? And I love making deals, and I love helping people connect that. But what I love most about it is the relationships and building those relationships involved in that. It's not the actual transaction. It's how did we work together? How did we come together? Maybe we didn't see eye to eye on something, but we still figured out a way to come together to make this deal that was a win-win for both of us.
Can 2 people walk away satisfied, you know?
And that's what's most exhilarating to me when I make deals, right? So when I was in the diamond business, it was really chasing a deal just to make a deal. It wasn't really benefiting anybody. Now I look for win-wins in every situation possible.
I love that. That's powerful.
Thank you.
So the Vegas land. So Las Vegas is the land of high stakes and quick bets. What has a city taught you about risks that entrepreneurs in safer markets might miss?
Seek clarity. Seek clarity in this town. I'm gonna tell you one thing about this town.
Hold on. Some people's version of clarity might be a little obscured.
Yeah. As best as you can get it, as best as you can get it. So, like, in this town, it's a good old boys town, and thank God my wife is born and raised here because I was able to find some people that have been in this town that know this town very well that allowed me to work in this town and build businesses, And I don't care what anybody says, you just can't be an outsider and come in here. And not in Vegas. It just doesn't work that way, man.
It's a small place.
It's a small place. Think about all the people that we actually knew. Within 2 weeks, man, we knew 5 or 6 people. Same thing, right? Oh, how come you didn't know Sean, right? If I would have said something sour to you or something like that, you would have been like, oh, that guy? Come on, he's a jerk, right? No, but we kept it cool, right? You could have said the same thing about, oh, Sean, he's a jerk, right? But no, everything we've done was, hey, we kept it cool, win, 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 and everyone we've come across, what'd they say? Oh, Sean's a good dude. What'd they say about me? You ask one guy, Johnny's a good dude, right? So it's about keeping that good dude relationship out there in the city. And that's 1,000%, man. You never know who you're gonna come into or come across that they might know somebody that you know as well that could crush a deal. So in this town, it's, hey, 1, be yourself. Don't ever change. That's for me. I will always be me. Everyone else is taken. 2, be impeccable with your word. 4 agreements, for sure. And 3, do good business. Don't try and screw anybody here. Keep it, as the kids say, keep it 100 now. Don't. There's no reason to play in the gray. It's black or white now. In the old days, you could play in the gray in this town. Well, guess what? I know the desert's out there with a lot of dudes out there in them. They played in the gray. I promise you there's still guys like that in this town that'll do the same thing.
It's amazing how fast you can get blackballed here.
Yeah. I know a couple guys. Had to leave town. Not fun.
I think Vegas is probably one of the best places to be an entrepreneur.
Oh.
It's the ultimate place of connection, you know.
We have all walks of life here, man. We have, so what's unique about Vegas is we have this wonderful entertainment city. We have great dining. We have phenomenal fashion, right? So we have everything that you could possibly want. And then we have the dark side of Vegas, right? Which everyone comes to let loose and get into that debauchery. But it's not necessarily everyone's cup of tea. There's gambling, there's a variety of different things. So if you can go down that road pretty quickly. But if you stay in this lane of keeping aware, finding out what's good for you and what's not, for me at least, what I like to look at is like, okay, well, where do I best fit in? What fits good for me? Like, I'm a big outdoors guy. I love playing golf. I like doing some hiking, things like that. Not as much lately. That's another time for a story, but I was rescued off a mountain by a helicopter. So I don't go on as many hikes. But for me, it's about really finding out what's in tune for me in this city that connects with me, right? And then finding like-minded people that I can do those things with.
Absolutely.
This is a unique city. Entertainment capital of the world, man. You could find some really good stuff to entertain yourself for sure.
All right, so rapid fire mindset myths. I'm going to throw 3 common beliefs at you. Give me a 15-second truth bomb on each of them, right from the top of your head. So hustle equals burnout.
No, hustle never equals burnout. Hustle equals hustle. Hustle equals action and reaction. And so for me, the more you hustle, the more action that's necessary. Then you need to rewind or step back and take a rest.
Okay.
But hustle doesn't equal burnout to me.
Insurance is only for worst case scenarios.
No. Insurance is for best case scenarios because you want to keep what's best in your pocket. Insurance is really to safeguard all your assets, right? So for me, it's always about protecting what's most important to you. And if your bank account is what's most important to you, your assets are most important to you, let's protect those in a manner that's right. Now, it might not be cost effective. That's another thing we have to look at. But if you really want to protect the things that you've worked so hard for, insurance is a must. And with the right person that teaches you how insurance works.
Yes.
But if you're just going out to get a policy and you're looking for the lowest dollar, I'm not your guy.
Yep. Mindset work is therapy, and real entrepreneurs don't need it.
No. Mindset work is the key to unlocking your true potential as an entrepreneur. Real entrepreneurs are the most self-aware people on the earth. The guys that are really trying to get to the next level, and let me rewind that, the guys that are getting to the next level, because entrepreneurs don't try stuff, they do stuff. Those are the guys that are really looking to sharpen their tools on a regular basis. And that is the mindset you need to elevate your game on a regular basis as an entrepreneur.
I love that. I love that. All right, so if you only remember one thing from Johny Carmona, remember this. Build your mind like your insurance and your assets before the storm hits. Johny, thanks so much for dropping pure clarity on the 1% Club podcast today. I appreciate you so much for being on here.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure and an honor. Appreciate you.
Hope I didn't make you throw up.
Nah, not today.
Right.
Not yet. Maybe next time.